Let's talk about Flexbox, a super useful feature in CSS for creating responsive layouts. In this video, I'll break it down and show you how easy it is to use. Let's dive in. Think about arranging furniture in a room. Without any system, it's all over the place. Some pieces against the walls, others floating in the middle, awkward spaces everywhere. Flexbox is like having a professional interior designer who knows exactly how to arrange everything perfectly. Let me show you what I mean with a simple example. Here is where the magic begins. Just like telling someone to arrange furniture along a wall, you can guide your elements on how to line up perfectly. With just one line or display flex, everything falls into place effortlessly. Your elements line up perfectly, no extra hassle or tricky calculations needed. It's like magic for layouts. Now, let's talk about controlling which way your elements flow. In Flexbox, we have this amazing property called flex direction. Think of it like having a magic remote control that changes gravity itself. Let me explain each option with real world examples. When you use flex direction row, imagine you are arranging books on a shelf that naturally go from left to right, just like how you would read a sentence in English. Perfect for navigation menus or a row of product cards. Next, flex direction column. Flex direction column is like stacking plates in your kitchen cabinet. They naturally pile up from top to bottom. This is perfect for things like mobile menus or a list of comments on a blog post. Flex direction row reverse. Flex direction row reverse is like reading a Arabic text. Everything flows from right to left. Imagine you are creating a website for a Middle Eastern audience and you want everything to flow naturally for their reading direction. Next, flex direction column reverse. Flex direction column reverse, it's like one of those fancy restaurant plate dispensers that pushes plates from the bottom. This can be super useful for chat applications where you want the newest messages at the bottom. Here is how you control this flow. But what about spacing? This is where justify content comes in, and it's absolutely brilliant. Imagine you are arranging people for a group photo. Sometimes you want everyone bunched together at one end, and sometimes centered perfectly in the frame, and sometimes spread out evenly across the whole width. Let me break down each justify content option with real world scenarios. Flex start. Flex start is like people lining up at the beginning of a queue. Everyone's right there at the start. Perfect for left aligned navigation menus. Flex end. Flex end is like when everyone gathers at the finish line of a race, everything packed at the end. Great for right aligned content like language selectors in headers. Next one, center. Center is your perfect group photo arrangement. Everything centered beautifully. Ideal for hero sections or call to action buttons. space between. Space between is like placing chairs in a waiting room. Equal space between each chair, but none at the ends. Perfect for navigation items or card layouts. Next one, space around. Space around is like placing paintings in an art gallery. Each piece gets its own breathing room on both sides. Great for more relaxed artistic layouts. Here is how you use it. Now, vertical alignment used to be the nightmare of CSS. But with align items, it's like having a floating camera that can perfectly position everything at any height. Think about it like this. Stretch. Stretch is like when you are hanging curtains and they naturally stretch from rod to the floor. This is the default behavior. Next, center. Center is like floating balloons that all align at the same height. Perfect vertical centering with zero math. Next one is flex start. Flex start is like items on a top shelf all aligned at the top regardless of their size. Next one, flex end. Flex end is like objects sitting on a table, all aligned at the bottom no matter how tall they are. Next one, baseline. Baseline is like text in a notebook. Everything lines up based on where the text sits, not the container edges. Here is how you implement this vertical magic. Now, let's talk about flex wrap. Imagine you are putting groceries on a kitchen counter. When you run out of space, you naturally start a new row, right? That's exactly what flex wrap does for your elements. Without flex wrap, your elements are like stubborn teenagers trying to squeeze into the backseat of a car. They will squish themselves to fit no matter what. But with flex wrap, they are like well behaved guests at a dinner party. When the first row is full, they politely move to the next one. No wrap, which is default. No wrap is like trying to fit all your groceries on one shelf. Things might get squished. Next, wrap reverse. Wrap reverse is like filling shelves from bottom to top. Each new row appears above the previous one. This is incredibly powerful for responsive design. Now, let's talk about something really cool: controlling how elements share available space. This is where flex grow and flex shrink come in. Think of it like sharing a pizza with friends, but some friends are hungrier than others. Let's talk about flex grow. Flex grow is like having different sized plates at a buffet. An element with flex grow 2 gets a double sized plate, so it takes twice as much as of the available space as elements with flex grow 1. Now let's discuss about flex shrink. Flex shrink is like how much your items are willing to diet when space gets tight. Imagine your elements are like sponges that can be squeezed. Flex shrink 1 is normal squeezability. Flex shrink 2 means it will squeeze twice as much. Flex shrink 0 means I'm staying firm, no shrinking for me. And there you have it. You have just mastered the power of Flexbox to create beautiful responsive layouts without the usual CSS headaches. Remember, whenever you find yourself fighting with the layouts, Display Flex is probably the answer you're looking for. If this tutorial helped you conquer your CSS fears, don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe for more web development tips and tricks. In our next video, we will dive into CSS Grid, Flexbox's equally awesome sibling that's perfect for complex page layouts. Drop a comment below with what you would like to learn next. See you in the next one.